Today's review, we've got a double IPA from the masters of double IPAs. This is Glimmer from Track, 8.4%. But what's it going to be like? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to a Gold Top. Yep, this is one of the Track's Gold Top double IPAs. It's 8.4%. We've got Citra Cryo, Galaxy, Motueka and Motueka Cryo. And Gold Top, for those that don't know, signifies that this is a beer that's like it's a milkshake really, double IPA, because it has lactose in it. We've got the normal barley, oats and wheat, but lactose is the sort of additional thing. Now, not a big fan of lactose in beer generally, but Track and these Gold Top series have all been good. I've had one before and it was okay. I wouldn't say it was overly creamy, which I'm expecting, but I thought I'd try again and see whether this one might be a bit better. I mean, the double IPAs are really good anyway, but this Gold Top is supposed to be something a little bit special. So let's crack it open, get it in glass and see what we've got. Some nice hops in here. Obviously Citra, great. Galaxy, yeah, it's another sort of big dank sort of hop. And Motueka, which is a lot more sort of citrusy, certainly lime and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, well, I'm interested to see how the balance of this beer sort of works out, really. So, beer in a glass, where you can see there's loads of carbonation there. I don't know the glass recently, these ones, but you wouldn't expect that from a double IPA. But sometimes what happens is that the carbonation sort of goes up the glass and then it just sort of stops, and then that gets a lot more of a smoother beer. Certainly beer in a glass, we've got two fingers, fairly compacted, although some loose bubbles around the edges there, you can see there. I don't think that head will stick around too long. Still loads of carbonation sticking to the glass. I know that is definitely carbonation. The bubbles are rising up, but we've got a straw-coloured, hazy beer, what you would expect really. Probably not as dark and hazy as you would think from an 8.4%, but that's probably the lactose sort of lightens it up a little bit. So, looks all right in the glass. Let's see what the aroma's like. Oh, it smells really tropical, and there's loads of peach in there. Grapefruit's coming through. Oh, I smell, and there's a real sweetness in that aroma as well. Oh, it smells so good that I just can't stop thinking about it, smelling it, and start drinking it. So, let's drink it. Cheers, everyone. Wow. Well, there's a lot of conflicting things going on here. Lots of juice, lots of tropical. There's all kinds of tropical stuff in there. Galaxy and the Citra do a lot of work. The Motueka, not getting that much lime cutting through the flavour. There's lots of mango and passion fruit, guava, all that sort of stuff. Pineapple. It's basically a whole medley of tropical fruit flavours. There's a little bit of grapefruit coming in on the back end. But what there is as well is there's this real sweetness to the flavour. And I think that's from the lactose, because you get a sweet, sort of almost creamy sort of flavour. But you're also getting a fair bit of alcohol warmth. And I always get confused with whether I'm getting alcohol or hop burn, but I think this is more alcohol. It's gone away now since I've drank it. It's not like it's not sitting there. The warmth is not sitting in the mouth or the throat really. But when you first drink it, you can definitely know that this is a double IPA. Yeah, maybe it is hop burn. You get that hoppy flavour right up front. But there's all lots of stuff sort of combating that. You know, there's this creamy sort of sweet flavour, plus all the tropical fruit going bang, bang, bang on the back of on the palate, really. Right, so it's a really good beer, but it just wants to settle down a little bit, I think. You know, that's the thing. It's like an explosion in your mouth, which is great, but when you want to sort of sip and savour it, different. But I think now I've poured the whole lot of it out, and you can see that the colour of it it is a golden yellow. Basically, there's a slight sort of gold tinge to the sort of straw colour. The head is, you know, is quite well retained. Yeah, okay, I just poured it out, but there's some lacing and stuff with the glass. There's an intensity that is 1 part fruit and tropical flavour, 1 part sweet creaminess, and 1 part either hoppiness or alcohol. It's quite smooth though in terms of the drinking. You do get that hit of all of that stuff straight away, but then it sort of calms down a bit, and when you're like left with like a little flavour that just sort of says, drink me again because this is nice. And exactly that's what you want to do. 8.4%, you want to be sipping it, but the flavours are coming through. Lots of stone fruits are coming through now. Apricots coming in. Peach, obviously the sweetness and that peach. Mango, obviously, but there's passion fruit coming through as well. And there's all kinds of tropical stuff in the background, you know, there's sort of the more obscure flavours, you know, there's almost like a little bit of that melon, there's almost like the a gooseberry, there's grapefruit in there on the back end. It's a really well put together beer, but it's one of those sort of beers there's so much going on, it's quite difficult to really unpack. But what I can tell you, is to summarise really, is that it's a great beer. I'm still unsure whether you need to put lactose into beer, especially like double IPAs. I think they do it to make it a little bit smoother. Maybe it takes the edge off that hoppiness. And it does a little bit because it's quite a sweet flavour. It's probably a little sweeter than a lot of double IPAs are, especially, you know, ones without lactose in. So you're getting a bit more sweetness. You're not getting that dry bitterness, and it's less funky, I think, than a lot of double IPAs because of the lactose. It sweetens and smooths things out a little bit, and I think to some extent it makes it more palatable as a beer. I really like it, and yeah, I mean it's a difficult one because there's some great double IPAs on the channel. But you drink this and you think, quality product, loads of flavour, loads going on, loads to sort of get your mouth round really. And I think as it sort of, even now as it sort of warms a little bit, you're getting a little bit of that mutueka coming through, that lime. There's that little sort of hint of the lemongrass and those sort of New Zealand flavours, but they're quite in the background. Galaxy and Citra are doing a lot of the work here. It does remind me of something like, you know, your putties from Verdant, you know, because I know that's Citra and Galaxy. I'm sure that's Citra and Galaxy, certainly Galaxy. And yeah, I think Citra, Galaxy and Azaka, I think it is. There's that sort of big funky flavour going on, but I think the mutueka is holding it back a little bit, and you're getting a little bit more of that sharpness that's cutting through, and as it warms and as you drink more of it, that's coming through more and more. This is a really good beer. I mean, we know that Track make incredible beers, but this is up there with the top double IPAs that they make. And I think this was better than the last one. I can't even remember how long ago it was, but better than the last Gold Top double IPA. And it's up there with some of the best double IPAs I've had this year. So, Glimmer Gold Top double IPA. What do you think of Gold Top? Lactose in beers? Yeah, as I say, for me, not really. I'm a little bit put off by that. We've had some really dodgy milkshake IPAs. They call them milk. This is not called a milkshake IPA, but it is pretty much what it is. And they're just, you know, the lactose just ruins the whole structure of the beer. But I think Track know a little bit what they're doing, and obviously they roll out these Gold Series beers, so people obviously like them. They believe that they're doing a good job, so they can do that. And I think that they know how to get the right blend or mix with the lactose, so you get the sweetness, and it takes a little bit of that funky edge off, and makes it a little bit of a smoother, I wouldn't say refreshing beer, but certainly a smoother, more palatable beer. And I think that's good because it gets you into double IPAs. 8.4%, quite dangerous. You know, it's a little bit more than your 8%, but 8.4%. I mean, it's still very, very juicy and lovely. So yeah, let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Glimmer. This is a double Gold Top double IPA, 8.4%. We've got Citra, Citra Cryo, Galaxy, Mutueka, and Mutueka Cryo. It's a very good beer, and the scores will represent that. So we start with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money. This is a very good beer, but it did cost £7.50, so I'm knocking a little bit off of that. That's still an expensive beer, really. And finally, my overall experience. Tighten the scores up. Even though we haven't got the best score for value for money, it's still a highly recommended Iron Maiden of craft beer. Total score, 82 out of 100. This is a really good beer. You have to say, one of the best double IPAs I've had this year. Gold Top, it's a winner for me. I will now want to seek out more Gold Tops because I think I've become a convertee of them. I wasn't sure about it the first time, but this beer, the hops and everything, just really worked for me. And it's a really nice beer. So let me know what you think of Gold Top beers, if you've had any. Lactose in beer, it shouldn't really work, but Track know how to make it work. Hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you do. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And that's about it for today. I've only got two more things to sort of ask of you. You know, the two things you need to do. Number one, drink good craft beer. Number two, keep on rocking.